The sun was setting behind the serene suburban horizon as I pulled into our driveway, the weight of what I had just discovered heavy in my chest. Lisa, my wife of 7 years, had been acting strangely lately, distant, preoccupied. I chalked it up to work stress at first, but a friend's casual remark about seeing her with another man ignited a gnawing suspicion in me. I parked the car and sat there for a moment, staring blankly at the steering wheel. Memories of our happy times together flashed through my mind. Our wedding day, our first home, the dreams we shared. Now, those memories felt tainted, as if they were lies I had convinced myself to believe. With a sigh, I got out of the car and walked up the familiar path to our front door. The house was quiet, illuminated softly by the dim glow of the porch light. Inside, I could hear faint sounds, the dishwasher humming, the clock ticking. The normalcy of it all felt surreal, given the storm raging inside me. I stepped into the hallway, hanging my coat on the hook beside the door. The house smelled of dinner, a faint hint of roasted chicken and herbs. Lisa was in the kitchen, her back turned to me as she stirred something on the stove. "Hey, Jason," she greeted me with a smile, turning around. Her hazel eyes met mine briefly before she looked away, a flicker of guilt passing across her face. "Hey," I replied, my voice steadier than I felt. I walked towards her slowly, trying to read her expression. "How was your day?" Her smile faltered slightly. "Oh, the usual. Busy." "Yeah," I said, my mind racing with what I knew. "Mine too." I watched her nervously fidget with the spoon, her gaze avoiding mine. It was now or never. I had to confront her. "Lisa," I began, my voice firm yet tinged with a vulnerability I couldn't suppress. "Can we talk?" Her eyes widened slightly, and she set the spoon down, turning fully to face me. "Sure, what's on your mind?" I took a deep breath, the words tasting bitter on my tongue. "I saw you today," I started, watching her closely for any reaction. She froze for a split second, her facade slipping just enough for me to catch it. "Saw me?" "In the cafe," I clarified, my voice barely above a whisper. "With David." Her expression shifted, a mixture of surprise and something else, fear, perhaps guilt. "Jason, Don't," I interrupted, the hurt and anger bubbling up inside me. "Just tell me it's not true." She hesitated, her gaze dropping to the floor. "Jason, My heart sank. "How long?" Her silence spoke volumes. I felt a surge of betrayal, a tidal wave crashing over the life we had built together. Anger flared within me, but beneath it all was a profound sadness, a realization that what I had cherished was slipping through my fingers. "I trusted you," I said, my voice breaking. "We promised each other—" "I know," she whispered, tears welling up in her eyes. "I'm so sorry." I shook my head, trying to comprehend the enormity of it all. "Why, Lisa? How could you?" She looked up at me then, desperation etched on her face. "I don't know," she admitted, her voice raw with emotion. "I don't know." The room felt stifling, the air thick with unspoken words and shattered trust. I turned away, needing to collect myself. What came next? What was I supposed to do now? "I need some time," I managed finally, my voice hollow. "Alone." I walked out of the kitchen, leaving her standing there amidst the fragments of our fractured marriage. Upstairs, in our bedroom, I packed a bag mechanically, my mind racing with thoughts of what lay ahead. The weight of betrayal hung heavy on my shoulders, threatening to crush me. As I descended the stairs with my bag slung over my shoulder, I caught one last glimpse of Lisa standing in the doorway of the kitchen, her face streaked with tears. For a moment our eyes met, two souls grappling with the wreckage of what once was love. And with that, I walked out the front door, leaving behind the life I had known, unsure of where the road would lead me next. I returned to the house a week later, my mind clearer, but heart still heavy. The initial shock had dulled into a persistent ache, a mixture of betrayal and disbelief that lingered in every corner of our once happy home. Lisa was waiting for me in the living room when I walked in. Her eyes were swollen from crying, her usual warmth replaced by a nervous tension that hung in the air between us like a thick fog. "Jason," she started, her voice trembling slightly, "I didn't expect you back so soon." I set my bag down by the door, my movements deliberate. "I needed to come back to sort things out." She nodded, tears threatening to spill over again. I understand. We stood there in silence for a moment, the weight of our shattered trust suffocating. Finally, I spoke, my voice steady despite the turmoil within. I've been thinking, I began, choosing my words carefully, about us. Her eyes searched mine desperately, as if seeking a glimmer of hope. Jason, please. I need to know, I interrupted, my tone firm. How long has it been going on? She hesitated, her lower lip trembling. A few months, she admitted quietly. It started as, I don't know. I was confused, unhappy. And David? I pressed, my voice cold. Was he just a distraction? Her shoulders slumped, tears streaming down her face. No, she whispered. I cared about him. The admission cut through me like a knife, reopening wounds I thought had begun to heal. Anger flared up again, but beneath it was a profound sadness, a realization that the woman standing before me was no longer the person I thought I knew. What now, Lisa? I asked, my voice raw with emotion. What do you want? She looked down at her hands, her fingers twisting nervously in her lap. I don't want to lose you, she confessed softly. But I know I've hurt you. I've hurt us. The honesty in her words struck a chord within me, stirring conflicting emotions. Part of me wanted to forgive her, to reclaim the life we had built together. But another part, the wounded, betrayed part, yearned for justice, for retribution. I don't know if I can forgive you, I admitted, my voice breaking. Not yet. Her eyes widened in fear, the reality of losing me sinking in. Jason, please. I held up a hand, silencing her. I need time, I repeated, my voice steadier now. I need to figure things out. She nodded silently, tears still flowing unchecked. Okay, she managed finally. I'll give you that. We stood there, two broken souls in the wreckage of our marriage, unsure of what the future held. Eventually, she retreated to our bedroom, leaving me alone with my thoughts. That night, sleep eluded me as I wrestled with conflicting emotions. Betrayal and love warred within me, each vying for dominance. But amidst the turmoil, a seed of resolve began to sprout, a plan taking shape in the darkness. In the days that followed, I maintained a semblance of normalcy while secretly gathering information. I spoke to mutual friends, discreetly investigated David's background, and even consulted a lawyer. The pieces of my plan fell into place methodically, driven by a determination to turn the tables on the one who had shattered my world. Lisa tried to reach out, to mend the rift between us, but I kept my distance. The wounds were too fresh, the betrayal too deep. Each interaction with her only fueled my resolve, reminding me of why I had to see this through. And as I plotted my course of action, a sense of grim satisfaction settled over me. I wasn't sure where this path would lead, but one thing was certain. I would no longer be the victim in my own story. I waited until the perfect opportunity presented itself. A business trip David was scheduled to take out of town. It was a stroke of luck that he left his apartment unattended for a weekend, trusting that his place was secure. Little did he know, I had been meticulously planning my move. With everything in place, I made my move on a Saturday evening, when the neighborhood was quiet and darkness cloaked the streets. I parked my car a few blocks away from David's apartment building, ensuring no one would recognize me. As I approached the building, adrenaline surged through my veins. The plan was straightforward yet filled with risks. I had a key, borrowed from a friend who lived in the same complex, and knew David's apartment layout from photos I had managed to obtain. Silently, I slipped inside the building and made my way up to the 4th floor, where David's apartment was located. The hallway was dimly lit, casting long shadows across the walls. My heart pounded in my chest as I reached his door and inserted the key, praying it would turn without a sound. The lock clicked open, and I stepped inside, closing the door behind me with a soft click. I stood still for a moment, letting my eyes adjust to the darkness. The apartment was eerily quiet, the only sound my own breathing. I moved quickly and quietly, knowing I had limited time before David returned. The first place I checked was his study, the heart of his personal space, where I expected to find evidence of his affair with Lisa. I rifled through drawers, scanned through paperwork, and sifted through files on his computer. My efforts were rewarded when I found emails exchanged between him and Lisa, messages filled with affectionate words and plans for future rendezvous. The betrayal stared back at me in black and white, confirming what I already knew but needed to see for myself. Anger surged through me once again, but I pushed it aside, focusing on the task at hand. Next, I searched the bedroom, a place filled with intimate traces of David's life. I found a framed photo of him and Lisa, smiling together at a party, a cruel reminder of their deceit. I took the photo, wanting to erase it from David's life, as he had tried to erase my happiness. In the bathroom, I found toiletries and personal items that marked David's presence: a razor, a toothbrush, a favorite cologne, all mundane yet surreal in the context of my revenge. As I completed my search, I paused to take in the scene. I had what I needed: evidence that would shatter David's carefully constructed facade. With a sense of grim satisfaction, I gathered the incriminating items into a bag I had brought for this purpose. Just as I was about to leave, a noise from outside the apartment startled me. Footsteps echoed in the hallway, growing louder. Panic seized me for a moment, but I composed myself quickly, knowing I couldn't afford to get caught. I slipped out of the apartment and quietly closed the door, locking it behind me. With the bag securely in hand, I retraced my steps down the hallway and out of the building, blending into the darkness of the night. Back in my car, I sat for a moment, adrenaline still coursing through me. The hardest part was done, but the aftermath awaited, confronting Lisa with the truth and revealing David's betrayal to him. As I drove away from David's apartment, I couldn't help but feel a sense of closure. My plan had worked flawlessly, and now it was only a matter of time before the pieces fell into place, exacting the sweet revenge I had sought. But amidst the satisfaction, a question lingered. Where would this path lead next? And what would be the cost of my calculated vengeance? I waited until Monday morning to confront Lisa. The evidence I had gathered from David's apartment was tucked safely away, a weighty reminder of the deception that had torn apart our marriage. As I walked into our home office where Lisa was going through some bills, I felt a strange mix of determination and sadness. She looked up as I entered, her expression a blend of apprehension and hope. "Jason," she said tentatively, setting aside the papers in her hands. "Are you okay?" I closed the door behind me, cutting off any chance of escape. "We need to talk," I said quietly, my voice steady despite the turmoil within. Her eyes widened slightly, sensing the gravity of the moment. "Jason, please," she began, her voice trembling. "I know things haven't been—" I cut her off with a wave of my hand, holding up the bag containing the damning evidence. "Save it, Lisa," I said coldly. "I know about you and David." Her face paled, the color draining from her cheeks. "Jason, I found your emails," I continued, my voice hardening with each word. "Your secret meetings, your lies." She looked down at her hands, unable to meet my gaze. "I'm sorry," she whispered, tears welling up in her eyes. "I never meant to—" "To what, Lisa?" I demanded, my anger surfacing despite my efforts to remain composed. "To betray me? To throw away everything we had?" She shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "No, Jason, I swear I never—" "Don't," I interrupted, my voice filled with pain. "Don't lie to me anymore." For a moment, silence hung heavily between us. The weight of the truth settled in the room, suffocating us both. I watched as she struggled to find words, her shoulders trembling with the weight of guilt. "I don't know what to say," she admitted finally, her voice barely audible. "I messed up, Jason. I know that now." I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. "Why, Lisa?" I asked, my voice softer now, filled with a desperate need for understanding. "Why did you do it?" She looked up at me then, tears staining her cheeks. "I was lost," she confessed, her voice breaking. "I felt neglected, unappreciated, and David, he made me feel alive again." The words pierced through me like shards of glass. Anger and hurt battled within me, but beneath it all was a profound sense of loss, for the woman I had loved and the life we had shared. "I can't forgive you," I said quietly, my voice thick with emotion. "Not now." She nodded, tears falling freely now. "I understand." I handed her the bag containing the evidence, the emails, the photo, the remnants of her betrayal. "I want you to see what you've done," I said, my voice trembling. "What we've lost." She took the bag with trembling hands, her fingers brushing against mine briefly. "I'm so sorry, Jason," she whispered, her voice choked with tears. I turned away then, unable to bear the sight of her pain. "I need some time," I said hoarsely, my back to her. Alone. Without another word, I left the room, leaving her alone with the consequences of her actions. Upstairs in our bedroom, I packed a bag mechanically, my mind numb with grief and anger. The life I had known was shattered beyond repair, and I was adrift in a sea of uncertainty. As I descended the stairs with my bag slung over my shoulder, I glanced back at the closed door of our home office. Lisa remained inside, facing the wreckage of our marriage alone. A part of me wanted to stay, to comfort her, to reclaim the love we had once shared. But another part, the wounded, betrayed part, yearned for justice, for retribution. And as I walked out the front door, leaving behind the life I had known, I knew that this was only the beginning of my journey toward healing and redemption. The days that followed were a blur of emotions and decisions. I moved out of our shared home temporarily, finding solace in a small apartment rented through a friend's recommendation. The space was sparse but comforting in its simplicity, offering me a retreat from the chaos that had engulfed my life. I spent hours poring over legal advice, contemplating my next steps. Divorce seemed inevitable, but I wanted more than just separation. I wanted closure, justice. The evidence I had gathered from David's apartment weighed heavily on my mind, a potent weapon in the battle for my dignity and self-respect. Meanwhile, Lisa reached out repeatedly, pleading for forgiveness, for another chance. Her messages came through texts, voicemails, and even handwritten letters slipped under my door. Each one tore at my resolve, reminding me of the woman I had loved and the life we had shared. But beneath the surface, anger simmered, a righteous fury that demanded restitution. I ignored her attempts at reconciliation, focusing instead on the meticulous planning of my next move. With the help of a trusted lawyer, I drafted the divorce papers, meticulously outlining my demands for equitable distribution of assets and custody arrangements for our beloved dog Bailey. The legal process was daunting, but it provided a sense of structure amidst the chaos of my personal life. As the paperwork progressed, I also prepared the ultimate blow, exposing David's betrayal to his unsuspecting wife, Rachel. I tracked down her contact information through mutual acquaintances, deliberating over the right approach. She deserved to know the truth, just as I had. One evening, fortified by resolve and a sense of justice, I made the call. Rachel answered after several rings, her voice hesitant but polite. I introduced myself carefully, explaining the delicate nature of our conversation. As I revealed the details, David's affair with Lisa, the evidence I had found, Rachel's silence spoke volumes. When she finally spoke, her voice was laced with disbelief and anger. She thanked me for telling her the truth, her words tinged with a sorrow I understood all too well. We talked for hours, sharing stories of deception and heartbreak, finding solace in our shared experience. In the days that followed, Rachel confronted David, armed with the truth I had provided. The fallout was swift and tumultuous. Arguments, accusations, tears. I heard snippets through mutual acquaintances, confirming that justice was served, albeit in a bitter, painful manner. Meanwhile, my own divorce proceedings moved forward steadily. Lisa's initial resistance gave way to resignation as she realized the extent of my determination. We met briefly with our lawyers present, exchanging necessary documents and signing agreements with a formality that masked the emotional turmoil beneath. Throughout it all, I found myself grappling with conflicting emotions: grief for the end of my marriage, relief at escaping a toxic relationship, and a strange sense of vindication as justice unfolded around me. As the final papers were signed and the divorce became official, I stood outside the courthouse, feeling oddly empty, yet liberated. The weight of betrayal had lifted, replaced by a cautious optimism for the future, a future I would rebuild on my terms, free from lies and deceit. And as I walked away from the courthouse, I knew that this chapter of my life was closing, a painful yet necessary chapter that had reshaped me in ways I never could have imagined. The months following the divorce were a period of introspection and rebuilding. I settled into my new routine, finding solace in the familiar rhythms of work and solitary evenings spent reflecting on the past. Bailey, my faithful companion through it all, provided a constant source of comfort. His presence reminded me of the unconditional love that had once defined my relationship with Lisa, a love now tainted by betrayal and loss. Despite the emotional upheaval, life continued to unfold. I threw myself into my career with renewed vigor, seeking distractions in projects and deadlines. The office became my sanctuary, a place where I could bury myself in work and momentarily escape the ghosts of my failed marriage. Occasionally, thoughts of Lisa would surface, memories of shared laughter, quiet moments, and dreams for the future, but they were swiftly followed by reminders of her betrayal, of the pain she had inflicted. The wounds were still raw, the scars still tender, despite the passage of time. Social interactions became a delicate balance of polite conversations and guarded disclosures. Friends and colleagues offered sympathetic words and well-intentioned advice, but I found myself withdrawing into solitude more often than not. Trust had become a precious commodity, one I was hesitant to extend to anyone new. Meanwhile, news of David and Rachel's divorce reached me through mutual acquaintances. Their marriage had unraveled in the aftermath of his affair, a bitter end to a relationship built on deceit. Part of me felt a grim satisfaction at the karma that had unfolded, but mostly I felt a sense of closure, knowing that justice had been served. As the months turned into a year, I began to tentatively explore the possibility of new beginnings. Online dating profiles and blind dates offered glimpses of what could be, a future where trust could be rebuilt, where love could bloom once more. Yet, each step forward was accompanied by a nagging fear of history repeating itself. Therapy became a lifeline, a safe space to unpack the emotional baggage I carried, to confront the insecurities and doubts that lingered. Through introspective sessions, I began to untangle the complexities of forgiveness and healing, learning to navigate the scars left by betrayal. One evening, while walking Bailey through the park near my apartment, I crossed paths with an old friend, a familiar face from my past. Sarah was someone I had known since college, a kindred spirit who had always seen beyond the surface. We fell into easy conversation, reminiscing about shared memories and catching up on each other's lives. Her warmth and sincerity touched something within me, stirring dormant feelings of connection and possibility. In the weeks that followed, Sarah became a constant presence in my life, a beacon of hope amidst the shadows of my past. She listened without judgment, offering unwavering support and understanding as I navigated the complexities of starting anew. Slowly, hesitantly, I allowed myself to open up, to share my fears, my insecurities, and my dreams. Sarah reciprocated with her own vulnerabilities, forging a bond built on mutual trust and respect. With her by my side, I began to rediscover the joy of companionship, the comfort of shared laughter, and the promise of a future defined not by betrayal, but by genuine love and acceptance. And as I walked Bailey through the park one crisp autumn morning, hand in hand with Sarah, I felt a renewed sense of hope, a belief that the scars of the past had healed, leaving room for new beginnings and the possibility of happiness once more. As Sarah and I grew closer, my life gradually regained a sense of stability and purpose. Our relationship blossomed organically, rooted in mutual understanding and shared experiences that transcended the shadows of my past. Together, we navigated the intricacies of building a future built on trust and genuine affection. Sarah's presence brought a sense of joy and fulfillment I hadn't felt in years. We immersed ourselves in new adventures, weekend hikes in the mountains, spontaneous road trips to quaint towns, and quiet evenings curled up with books and laughter. With her, the weight of my previous marriage and its betrayal seemed to lighten, replaced by a newfound optimism for what lay ahead. Yet traces of my past still lingered beneath the surface. There were moments when doubts crept in, echoes of old insecurities and fears of vulnerability. Sarah understood my hesitations, offering patience and reassurance as I continued to navigate the complexities of trust and intimacy. Through it all, therapy remained a constant support, a safe space where I could unravel lingering emotions and confront the lingering impact of betrayal. My therapist guided me through exercises in forgiveness and self-compassion, encouraging me to embrace the lessons learned from my past without letting them define my future. As our relationship deepened, Sarah and I began to discuss our dreams and aspirations for the future. We shared hopes of traveling the world together, of building a home filled with love and laughter, and of nurturing a family grounded in honesty and mutual respect. One evening, over a quiet dinner at our favorite neighborhood bistro, I found myself reflecting on how far I had come since the tumultuous days of my divorce. The wounds of betrayal had healed into scars, a testament to resilience and the capacity for growth. Sarah reached across the table, her touch grounding me in the present moment. "You've been through so much," she said softly, her eyes filled with compassion. "But you've emerged stronger, more compassionate." I nodded, grateful for her unwavering support. "I couldn't have done it without you," I admitted, my voice filled with sincerity. She smiled, squeezing my hand gently. "We're in this together," she said, her words a promise of steadfast companionship. And as we walked home that night, under a canopy of stars, I felt a profound sense of gratitude for the journey that had led me to Sarah, for the healing that had transformed pain into resilience, and for the boundless possibilities that lay ahead. In Sarah's embrace, I found not only solace, but also a renewed belief in love, a love that was built on honesty, trust, and a shared commitment to nurturing each other's dreams. As the months turned into years, Sarah and I continued to build our life together, a life shaped by the lessons of the past and anchored in the promise of a future filled with hope, laughter, and unwavering love. As Sarah and I grew closer, my life gradually regained a sense of stability and purpose. Our relationship blossomed organically, rooted in mutual understanding and shared experiences that transcended the shadows of my past. Together, we navigated the intricacies of building a future built on trust and genuine affection. Sarah's presence brought a sense of joy and fulfillment I hadn't felt in years. We immersed ourselves in new adventures, weekend hikes in the mountains, spontaneous road trips to quaint towns, and quiet evenings curled up with books and laughter. With her, the weight of my previous marriage and its betrayal seemed to lighten, replaced by a newfound optimism for what lay ahead. Yet traces of my past still lingered beneath the surface. There were moments when doubts crept in, echoes of old insecurities and fears of vulnerability. Sarah understood my hesitations, offering patience and reassurance as I continued to navigate the complexities of trust and intimacy. Through it all, therapy remained a constant support, a safe space where I could unravel lingering emotions and confront the lingering impact of betrayal. My therapist guided me through exercises in forgiveness and self-compassion, encouraging me to embrace the lessons learned from my past without letting them define my future. As our relationship deepened, Sarah and I began to discuss our dreams and aspirations for the future. We shared hopes of traveling the world together, of building a home filled with love and laughter, and of nurturing a family grounded in honesty and mutual respect. One evening, over a quiet dinner at our favorite neighborhood bistro, I found myself reflecting on how far I had come since the tumultuous days of my divorce. The wounds of betrayal had healed into scars, a testament to resilience and the capacity for growth. Sarah reached across the table, her touch grounding me in the present moment. "You've been through so much," she said softly, her eyes filled with compassion. "But you've emerged stronger, more compassionate." I nodded, grateful for her unwavering support. "I couldn't have done it without you," I admitted, my voice filled with sincerity. She smiled, squeezing my hand gently. "We're in this together," she said, her words a promise of steadfast companionship. And as we walked home that night, under a canopy of stars, I felt a profound sense of gratitude for the journey that had led me to Sarah, for the healing that had transformed pain into resilience, and for the boundless possibilities that lay ahead. In Sarah's embrace, I found not only solace, but also a renewed belief in love, a love that was built on honesty, trust, and a shared commitment to nurturing each other's dreams. As the months turned into years, Sarah and I continued to build our life together, a life shaped by the lessons of the past and anchored in the promise of a future filled with hope, laughter, and unwavering love. Life with Sarah continued to unfold with a comforting rhythm, filled with moments both ordinary and extraordinary. Our shared experiences deepened our bond, reinforcing the foundation of trust and understanding that anchored our relationship. We settled into a routine that felt both familiar and new. Mornings began with quiet moments over coffee, shared in the warmth of our cozy kitchen. Evenings found us cooking together, experimenting with new recipes or revisiting old favorites. Through these simple rituals, we discovered the joy of companionship and the pleasure of building a life together. Our weekends were spent exploring the world around us. We hiked through rugged trails, breathing in the crisp mountain air and marveling at panoramic views. We ventured into bustling cities, immersing ourselves in art galleries, quaint cafes, and vibrant cultural scenes. Each adventure brought us closer, weaving memories that would be cherished for years to come. Amidst the joys of everyday life, challenges inevitably arose. Work responsibilities demanded our attention, requiring us to navigate deadlines, meetings, and professional ambitions. Sarah's career as a graphic designer flourished, while I found fulfillment in my role as a project manager, a balance that complemented our shared aspirations for personal and professional growth. Occasionally, echoes of my past would resurface, unexpected triggers that evoked memories of betrayal and heartache. In those moments, Sarah's presence was a source of solace, her unwavering support a reminder that I was no longer defined by the wounds of my previous marriage. Therapy continued to be a pillar of strength, providing a space for introspection and self-discovery. Together with my therapist, I explored the complexities of forgiveness and resilience, learning to embrace vulnerability as a path to healing and personal growth. As our relationship deepened, Sarah and I began to envision a future filled with possibilities. We discussed dreams of starting a family, of creating a home where love and laughter echoed through every room. These conversations were filled with hope and optimism, grounded in a shared commitment to nurturing a relationship built on honesty, respect, and mutual support. One summer evening, under a sky painted with hues of orange and pink, I found myself reflecting on the journey that had led me to this moment. Surrounded by love, embraced by hope, and anchored in the promise of a future shaped by lessons learned and dreams fulfilled. Sarah joined me on the porch, her presence a soothing balm to the complexities of my thoughts. "What are you thinking about?" she asked softly, her eyes meeting mine with a gentle curiosity. I smiled, reaching for her hand. "About us," I replied, my voice filled with quiet certainty. "About how far we've come." She squeezed my hand in response, a silent acknowledgement of the shared experiences that had woven our lives together. "I'm grateful for every moment," she said earnestly, her gaze reflecting a depth of emotion that mirrored my own. Together, we watched as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the landscape. In that fleeting moment, surrounded by the serenity of our shared home and the promise of a future filled with endless possibilities, I knew that I had found not only love but also a profound sense of peace, a peace born from embracing the complexities of life and emerging stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. As night descended and stars dotted the sky, Sarah and I remained on the porch, wrapped in each other's arms, a testament to the transformative power of love, forgiveness, and the unwavering belief in second chances. Life with Sarah unfolded like a tapestry woven with threads of love and resilience. Our days were filled with shared laughter, quiet moments of reflection, and the steady rhythm of companionship that anchored us both. As the seasons turned, we found ourselves contemplating the next chapter of our lives together. Conversations about marriage had begun to surface organically, prompted by discussions about our shared future and the depth of our commitment to each other. Sarah and I both felt ready to take this significant step, acknowledging that our love had weathered storms and emerged stronger. The proposal itself was a culmination of careful planning and heartfelt sentiment. I wanted it to be a moment that reflected our journey, a blend of simplicity and sincerity. One evening, under the soft glow of string lights in our backyard, I dropped to one knee and asked Sarah to marry me. Her eyes filled with tears of joy as she nodded enthusiastically, her voice trembling with emotion as she said yes. In the days that followed, we shared our news with family and friends, their reactions a chorus of delight and well wishes. Planning our wedding became a shared endeavor, filled with discussions about venues, guest lists, and the small details that would make our day uniquely ours. Throughout it all, Sarah and I remained grounded in the lessons learned from our past experiences. We approached marriage not with naivety, but with a profound understanding of the commitment we were making to each other, a commitment forged through challenges overcome and love reaffirmed. As the wedding day approached, I found myself reflecting on the transformative power of love and forgiveness. The scars of my previous marriage had faded into memories, replaced by a deep gratitude for the journey that had led me to Sarah. She was my partner, my confidant, and my greatest source of joy, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the capacity for growth. On a bright sunny day in early summer, surrounded by friends and family, Sarah and I exchanged vows in a ceremony filled with love and meaning. The sun-dappled garden provided a picturesque backdrop as we promised to cherish and support each other through life's twists and turns. The reception that followed was a celebration of love, laughter, and new beginnings. We danced under the stars, surrounded by the people who had witnessed our journey and supported us along the way. Toasts were raised, memories were shared, and the promise of a future filled with happiness and fulfillment hung in the air. As Sarah and I stole a moment alone together, basking in the glow of our wedding day, I knew with unwavering certainty that I had found my soulmate. Our love story was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the transformative power of forgiveness, and the profound joy that comes from embracing life's journey with an open heart. And as we walked hand in hand into the beginning of our married life, I was filled with gratitude for the past that had shaped us, the present that united us, and the future that awaited us, brimming with endless possibilities and boundless love. Life after our wedding settled into a blissful routine of shared responsibilities and continued growth. Sarah and I adjusted to married life with ease, finding joy in the everyday moments that defined our relationship. Our home became a sanctuary, a place where love and laughter echoed through each room, a testament to the bond we had nurtured and the future we were building together. Work continued to be a cornerstone of our lives, each of us thriving in our respective careers while supporting each other's ambitions. Sarah's creativity flourished as she tackled new design projects, her passion evident in every piece she created. I found fulfillment in my role as a project manager, guiding teams toward success and embracing challenges with renewed vigor. Amidst our professional pursuits, we made time for personal growth and exploration. We traveled to new destinations, discovering the world through shared adventures and cultural experiences. Each trip brought us closer, deepening our connection and creating memories that strengthened our bond. Parenthood became a topic of conversation as our marriage matured. Sarah and I dreamed of starting a family, imagining the joy of raising children together and sharing in the milestones of parenthood. We discussed plans for the future with a sense of anticipation and excitement, knowing that our love and partnership would provide a strong foundation for the next chapter of our lives. As we navigated the ups and downs of married life, we continued to prioritize communication and honesty. Our commitment to transparency allowed us to address any challenges that arose with compassion and understanding. Through open dialogue and mutual respect, we grew closer, reaffirming our love and dedication to each other. Therapy remained an essential part of our journey, providing a space for reflection and growth. Together, we explored the complexities of marriage, delving into topics of intimacy, compromise, and shared goals. Our sessions reinforced the importance of empathy and compromise, guiding us toward a deeper understanding of ourselves and each other. One evening, as we sat together on our porch, the sunset painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Sarah turned to me with a thoughtful expression. "Do you ever think about how far we've come?" she asked, her voice soft with emotion. I nodded, reaching for her hand. "All the time," I admitted, my heart swelling with gratitude. "I never imagined life could be this beautiful." She smiled, her eyes shimmering with unspoken affection. "Me neither," she confessed, leaning into my embrace. In that moment, surrounded by the warmth of our love and the promise of a future filled with endless possibilities, I knew that I had found my home in Sarah's heart. Our journey together had been a testament to resilience, forgiveness, and the transformative power of love, a journey that had shaped us into the people we were meant to be. As night fell and stars dotted the sky above us, I held Sarah close, grateful for the blessings of our life together. Our love story was a tapestry woven with threads of joy and resilience, a testament to the enduring power of love and the promise of a future filled with hope, laughter, and unwavering devotion. Sarah and I embarked on a new phase of our journey together, one that would test our resilience and strengthen our bond in unexpected ways. The decision to start a family filled us with excitement and anticipation, each step forward a testament to our love and commitment to building a life rooted in love and shared values. Months passed as we navigated the complexities of fertility treatments and family planning. We faced challenges with courage and determination, leaning on each other for support during moments of uncertainty and hope. Sarah's strength and optimism buoyed my spirits, reminding me of the unwavering love that had sustained us through the trials of our past. Our journey toward parenthood was marked by a roller coaster of emotions: joy, anticipation, disappointment, and resilience. We celebrated small victories and milestones along the way, finding solace in the shared dream of welcoming a child into our loving home. Through it all, our relationship deepened as we learned to lean on each other with newfound vulnerability and trust. We attended support groups, sought guidance from medical professionals, and immersed ourselves in research to better understand the complexities of infertility. Our shared determination became a source of strength, reinforcing our belief in the power of love and perseverance. As the seasons changed and another year passed, Sarah and I faced a turning point in our journey. After months of treatments and hopeful anticipation, we received the news we had been longing for. Sarah was pregnant. The moment was a whirlwind of emotions: joy, relief, and overwhelming gratitude. We held each other close, tears of happiness streaming down our cheeks as we embraced the reality of becoming parents. Our dreams were finally becoming a reality, a testament to the resilience of our love and the power of hope. Throughout Sarah's pregnancy, we cherished every moment, from the first flutter of movement to the anticipation of holding our child in our arms. We attended prenatal appointments together, marveling at the miracle of new life growing within Sarah's womb. Our home became a sanctuary filled with anticipation and love, preparing for the arrival of our little one. As Sarah's due date approached, we finalized preparations, eagerly awaiting the moment when our family would grow. We painted the nursery with soft colors and assembled the crib with tender care, each task a labor of love in anticipation of our baby's arrival. One early morning, as sunlight filtered through the curtains, Sarah's labor began. We rushed to the hospital, hearts racing with excitement and nerves. In the delivery room, I held Sarah's hand, offering words of encouragement and love as she brought our child into the world. The moment our baby's cries filled the room, I felt an overwhelming surge of love and gratitude. Tears streamed down my cheeks as I gazed at our newborn, marveling at the miracle of life and the profound joy of becoming parents. Sarah and I named our daughter Emily, a name that symbolized new beginnings and the enduring strength of our love. As we held her close, surrounded by the warmth of our family, I knew that our journey together had come full circle, a testament to the transformative power of love, forgiveness, and the unwavering belief in second chances. In the quiet moments that followed, as Sarah and I marveled at our daughter's tiny features and whispered promises of love and protection, I knew that our love story was far from over. Our journey as parents had just begun, filled with endless possibilities and the promise of a future shaped by the lessons of our past and the boundless love that united us. Life with Emily brought a new sense of purpose and joy into our lives. Sarah and I embraced parenthood with open hearts, navigating the challenges and rewards of raising our daughter together. Our home buzzed with the laughter and warmth of family, each day filled with precious moments and milestones that filled our hearts with pride. As Emily grew, we marveled at her curiosity and zest for life. She had Sarah's creativity and my love for adventure, a perfect blend of traits that made her a spirited and delightful child. Our days were filled with trips to the park, bedtime stories that sparked her imagination, and endless cuddles that strengthened the bond between us. Parenthood brought its share of challenges, from sleepless nights to moments of doubt and worry. Sarah and I leaned on each other for support, navigating the ups and downs with patience and love. We sought guidance from pediatricians, read parenting books, and relied on the wisdom of friends and family who had walked this path before us. Through it all, our commitment to each other remained steadfast. We prioritized our relationship amidst the demands of parenthood, carving out moments for date nights and quiet conversations that reaffirmed our love and partnership. Sarah's strength and resilience continued to inspire me, her unwavering dedication to our family a constant source of admiration and gratitude. As Emily reached preschool age, we faced new decisions about her education and upbringing. We discussed the values we wanted to instill in her: kindness, empathy, and a love for learning. Together, we enrolled her in a nurturing preschool that fostered her curiosity and encouraged her creativity, laying the foundation for her educational journey ahead. Our home became a haven for growth and exploration, filled with art projects, imaginative play, and laughter that echoed through every room. We celebrated holidays and milestones with family gatherings and traditions that deepened our connection to each other and to our shared history. As Sarah and I reflected on our journey together, the challenges we had overcome, the dreams we had realized, we felt a profound sense of gratitude. Our love had weathered storms and emerged stronger, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of forgiveness. One evening, as Sarah and I sat together on our porch, watching Emily play in the yard, I turned to her with a smile. "Look at her," I murmured, my voice filled with pride and wonder. "She's growing up so fast." Sarah nodded, her gaze tender as she watched our daughter. "She's amazing," she replied softly, her hand finding mine. "We're so lucky." I squeezed her hand in response, feeling a surge of gratitude for the life we had built together. "We are," I agreed wholeheartedly, my heart overflowing with love for both Sarah and Emily. In that quiet moment, surrounded by the warmth of our home and the love that bound us together, I knew that our journey as a family was just beginning. Our story was a tapestry woven with threads of love, resilience, and the promise of a future filled with endless possibilities. And as we embraced the challenges and joys that lay ahead, I knew that we would face them together, united in our commitment to each other and to the beautiful life we had created. As Emily grew older, Sarah and I found ourselves embracing the evolving dynamics of parenthood. Our daughter's curiosity and energy seemed boundless, filling our days with laughter, questions, and moments of wonder. We navigated the challenges of balancing work and family life with a renewed sense of purpose, cherishing the precious time we spent together as a family. Emily's preschool years were a whirlwind of milestones and discoveries. We delighted in her first day of school, capturing photos of her beaming with excitement in her new backpack. Sarah and I attended parent-teacher conferences, marveling at the progress she made in reading, writing, and making friends. Our home became a hub of learning and creativity, filled with artwork proudly displayed on the fridge and shelves lined with children's books that sparked Emily's imagination. Amidst the joy of parenthood, Sarah and I remained committed to nurturing our relationship. We continued to prioritize date nights and moments of connection, recognizing the importance of maintaining a strong foundation for our family. Through open communication and mutual support, we navigated the inevitable challenges that arose, from sleepless nights with a sick child to disagreements about parenting strategies. Emily's personality blossomed with each passing year, revealing a blend of Sarah's artistic flair and my love for the outdoors. We encouraged her interests in music and dance, enrolling her in classes that allowed her to explore her passions and develop new skills. Weekends were filled with trips to the museum, picnics in the park, and family adventures that created lasting memories. As Emily approached elementary school age, Sarah and I faced new decisions about her education and extracurricular activities. We researched schools that aligned with our values and beliefs, seeking environments that would nurture Emily's academic growth and personal development. Together, we attended open houses and met with educators, striving to make informed choices that would support Emily's educational journey. Our home became a hub of activity, with school projects spread across the dining room table and shelves filled with books that sparked Emily's curiosity. We celebrated holidays and birthdays with family traditions that deepened our connection to each other and to the rich tapestry of our shared history. Through it all, Sarah and I cherished the moments of laughter and joy that filled our days. We celebrated Emily's achievements, whether big or small, and supported her through challenges with patience and encouragement. Our love for each other and for our daughter continued to grow, strengthening our family bond and reaffirming our commitment to creating a nurturing and loving home. One summer evening, as Sarah and I sat together on our porch, watching Emily chase fireflies in the yard, I turned to her with a smile. "She's growing up so fast," I murmured, my voice tinged with a mixture of pride and nostalgia. Sarah nodded, her eyes shimmering with unspoken emotion. "She is," she replied softly, her hand finding mine. "But she's becoming such an incredible person." I squeezed her hand in response, feeling a swell of gratitude for the life we had built together. "She really is," I agreed wholeheartedly, my heart overflowing with love for both Sarah and Emily. In that quiet moment, surrounded by the warmth of our home and the love that bound us together, I knew that our journey as a family was filled with promise and possibility. Our story was a testament to the power of love, resilience, and the joy that comes from embracing life's precious moments. And as we looked ahead to the future, I knew that Sarah, Emily, and I would face it together, united in our commitment to each other and to the beautiful life we had created. Life continued to unfold with its tapestry of moments, each thread woven with love and resilience. Emily's elementary school years brought new adventures and challenges, from school plays to science fairs, each experience shaping her into the vibrant young person she was becoming. Sarah and I embraced our roles as parents with dedication and joy, guiding Emily through the ups and downs of childhood with patience and unwavering support. As Emily's interests continued to evolve, so did our family dynamic. We encouraged her curiosity about the world, nurturing her love for art, music, and literature. Our home became a haven for creativity and exploration, with art supplies scattered across the dining room table and shelves overflowing with books that sparked Emily's imagination. Outside of our home, Sarah and I remained committed to our careers, finding fulfillment in our respective fields while balancing the demands of parenthood. We attended school events and parent-teacher conferences, celebrating Emily's achievements and supporting her growth with enthusiasm. Our partnership remained a cornerstone of our family life, as we navigated the joys and challenges of raising a spirited and compassionate child. Amidst the busyness of daily life, Sarah and I continued to prioritize our relationship. We carved out moments for date nights and quiet conversations, recognizing the importance of nurturing our connection amidst the demands of work and parenting. Through shared laughter and heartfelt conversations, we strengthened our bond and reaffirmed our commitment to each other. As Emily approached her middle school years, we faced new milestones and decisions about her education and extracurricular activities. We supported her transition with encouragement and guidance, attending orientation sessions and helping her navigate the challenges of adolescence with empathy and understanding. Our family traditions continued to enrich our lives, from annual camping trips to holiday gatherings filled with laughter and love. We celebrated birthdays with homemade cakes and family adventures that created lasting memories. Our home was a sanctuary of warmth and belonging, a place where Emily could grow and thrive surrounded by unconditional love. One summer evening, as Sarah and I sat together on our porch, watching Emily and her friends play in the yard, I turned to Sarah with a smile. "She's growing up so fast," I murmured, my voice tinged with nostalgia. Sarah nodded, her gaze tender as she watched our daughter. "She is," she replied softly, her hand finding mine. "But she's becoming such a remarkable young woman." I squeezed her hand in response, feeling a swell of pride for the person Emily was becoming. "She really is," I agreed wholeheartedly, my heart overflowing with love for both Sarah and Emily. In that quiet moment, surrounded by the warmth of our home and the laughter of children echoing through the neighborhood, I knew that our journey as a family was filled with promise and possibility. Our story was a testament to the power of love, resilience, and the joy that comes from embracing life's precious moments. And as we looked ahead to the future, I knew that Sarah, Emily, and I would face it together, united in our commitment to each other and to the beautiful life we had created.